Hi everyone, my name is Juliet Ambali, and if this is your first time on this channel, you're welcome. If this is not your first time, you already know that it means the world to me that you come here time and again to watch my videos. God bless you real good. So today I have a very important topic to tackle now that we are still, at the tail end of 2025. And it's very important that I talk about this so that in 2026, we really start on a very fresh note, on a clean note. And so this particular video is for everybody, for singles and for those that are married. Now I'm going to address the singles first and then I'll talk to the married people. Please take your pen, take your jotter, take notes down. But more importantly, and jokes aside, I think it's very important that you pay attention to every single point because there'll be something or the other for you or for someone you know. So you can as well subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Tell somebody about this channel, share this video to somebody so that we can all be wholesome together. We can all have very beautiful, purpose-driven lives as individuals and as families, and then we'll see how this will also translate to the kind of communities and nation at large that we have. I hope that you enjoy watching this video. Thank you. So the first point for the singles, number one, stop dating, or let me use the kind of word that we like to use in Christendom. Stop courting purposelessly. All right. Ensure that you're not part of those people who are doing talking stages upon talking stages upon talking stages without any particular goal in view. So stop dating purposelessly. Don't follow those people who say, let's see how things go, or those people who tag you along, but are not making you see that there is something in the long run for them. All right, as much as possible, don't date purposelessly. Ensure that if you are going to get into any form of committed relationship with anybody, primarily let God direct you. And thereafter, ensure that the goal of getting married is even for the right reason. You don't just want to get married just because you think, oh, I'm of age, I think I'm ready, I feel as though this is the time, or everybody has been pressuring me and I don't have any choice. I just have to give in and be in this relationship, even though it looks like it has no direction. Don't do that to yourself, please. As much as possible, in 2026, avoid vibes only relationship and get into committed, purpose driven relationships to the glory of God's name that is goal driven, that is defined. So that's point one. My darling singles, the second point, don't over spiritualize red flags. That's one mistake many people do. You see a red flag and then you say,
Well, I feel like I have been led. I think that
trust me, God is not going to give you somebody who is carrying a red banner all around. All right? God is not a wicked God. And like someone said, if love is not a choice, then that's when you can have such a relationship where it feels as if God imposes somebody that, he wants just so that, you do his will. That's not the kind of God that we serve. So ensure that you don't over spiritualize red flags. When you see somebody who is consistently emotionally immature, you see somebody who is very manipulative, very narcissistic, you see somebody who is, irresponsible, whatever the red flag may be, don't over spiritualize red flags. Once you see red flags, be very careful to ensure that you don't, because you don't quote unquote, it seems like you don't have a choice. You just, bear with it and then you go on with it. That's not what God desires for you, please. So in 2026, be very prayerful and watchful about red flags so that in the long run you don't have regrets when you know, and well, you don't start looking in hindsight and then you realize, oh, and I saw A, B, C, D. I just thought I could, let it go until I get to Z. You accumulate a whole lot of trauma for yourself and emotional distress. So as much as possible, try to look out for red flags. Not that you're going into any relationship just, with the lens, just want to look for red flags. No, that's not it. But when you see a screaming red flag, something that is obvious that it is wrong, avoid that thing as much as possible. All right, avoid that, avoid being in such a situation as much as possible. Another thing is try as much as possible to really bask in this moment that you are in. I know that many people, you've heard many people say this again and again, and trust me that they are right. Many times people are not comfortable with being single, and much of the time it's usually because of the feeling of loneliness. Don't, because of feeling lonely, decide to just hook up with anybody that is available. As much as possible, be very mindful not to exchange the pleasures and the beauties of being single with a forced compatibility just so you can get away with being lonely. All right, that's another very key point that you need to be mindful of. Another key thing, which is the fourth point for singles, is this: when you find somebody, don't silence your community, whether it's your pastor, your family members, your friends, your loved ones. Reason being that many times these people may be able to see certain things that you're not seeing, possibly because you are blinded by infatuation or how you feel about that person or not. But when it seems as though one, two, three people are saying the same thing about this person, even when those three people have not met or had any conversations with each other, and that's something that you need to be on the lookout for. And it's not to say that when they point out those things, you should maybe you should just dismiss that person. No, it could be something that that person may need to work on, and it could be something that you may need to have a conversation with that person about. And if that person is willing to change, why not? All right. So, as much as possible, don't silence your community just because you're in a relationship with someone. All right. So, the fifth point is don't use people as emotional first aids. So because you want to pass time or you don't want to be single, you don't want to be by yourself, you just want to say that you have a plus one, you then tag someone along and use them as an emotional first aid or something that you used to hold yourself, quote and unquote, just until you meet the person that you think is the right person for you. Don't do that to anybody. Don't hurt anybody. Don't break anybody's heart. All right. If you know that you're not genuinely interested in somebody, let them know. Let them go. Don't tag them around. Don't go about collecting things from them and whatnot. Try not to, be the reason that somebody has sleepless nights, is broken hearted, is crying, just because you are taking advantage of them. Because truthfully, that's just the language. Don't take advantage of anybody just because you see that they are showing interest in you. If you're not interested in them, let them go. All right. So now another point that I like to mention is don't idolize marriage. I'm sure you'll be surprised for somebody who loves love, who is a lover girl, who is helplessly in love with her husband, even after being married for 10 years. Why she's saying I shouldn't idolize marriage? Or why she not, championing marriage for me? All right. Why she not pushing me to want to get married? First and foremost, you would never, ever catch me asking you,
when are you getting married? When can we come and eat jollof rice? When are we doing this and that?
you will never catch me doing that. And guess why? The reason is that I know how precious marriage is. I know how, delicate marriage is. I know how marriage is something of such great value that one has to be careful about, especially with regards to the choice of who you get married to. And so I'm the last person who's going to push you into just settling or into just getting married just because. Do you get, among so many other things? So in this period, don't idolize marriage, especially for the wrong reasons. Don't just want to get married so you can have beautiful, picture perfect um, posts to make, and when the reality is that the real life isn't, tallying with what those pictures are saying. Don't want to have an Instagram worthy marriage when in real life you're not basking in the joy, you're not enjoying it, regardless of what life throws at you. So it's very important that you take out your time prayerfully. Enjoy this season that you're in, all right? And with the help of God, when the Lord deems it fit, He will make all things beautiful in His time for you, all right? All right. So another thing is don't compare your journey with another person. All your friends are getting married. Everybody and their mother and their friend and their neighbors, everybody is getting married. That's everybody. You're not everybody. You have your path. You have your own journey. It's the same thing with every other person is failing, every other person is dying, every other person is getting demoted, every other person is losing their job and whatnot. So life is happening to everybody in different ways. Don't compare your journey with someone else. Don't want to be like someone else. Don't wonder why things are happening for that people marriage wise and it's not happening for you yet. Be patient, all right? Be patient and do all the other works that are necessary to be done. Prepare yourself. Bask in the joy of loving yourself. Do you understand? Somebody who truly loves self, generally speaking, like I always say, is attractive even by that alone. All right. So just bask in the joy of who God has made you to be in fulfilling the purpose that He has called you for, among so many other things. Lastly, for the singles, now is not the time to be spiritually lazy. No. And this doesn't even have anything to do with marriage. This just has to do with your person. Use all of this time, like I always say, create or open a prayer bank and make your deposits, make your prayer deposits. Pray about the future. Pray about this marriage you so long for. Pray about this person you hope to meet, this beautiful lady you intend to get married to, that handsome, loving man you intend to get married to. Pray about all of this. Pray about the kind of children you want to have. Pray about, when you're faced with situations and that, they are beyond you, how you're going to cope with them, how you're going to manage them. Do all the work in terms of your walk with God. Let God be at the center of this desire to want to get married. And trust me, when God helps you, when God prepares you in different areas of your life, in your walk with Him, in your career, in your heart posture about marriage, in your finances, among so many other things. By the time the person comes, you'll just know that it is all right, and you'll see that God is going to, make everything just more beautiful than you even imagined. So I hope that you've taken note of these points. Now let's go to the married people. In 2026, married people, don't treat your spouse like a fixture, like a furniture, like a chair, like a decoration in your house, like a trophy. Don't do that. Now you need to start preparing on how you're going to ensure that you are still pursuing them. That's for the men. And you're still being smitten by them for the women. You are still dating each other. You're still courting each other. You're still basking in the joy and the love that both of you share, regardless of the years or length of time that you've been married for. Don't do performative marriage where all you are just focused on is paying bills, taking care of the children, and cooking and forgetting each other. No, don't do that. Bask in the joy and in the love that both of you share as lovers. All right, life is short and it's very beautiful. I personally like to romanticize my life because, even in the ups and downs, the Word of God tells us, count it all joy. And what's joy like? Joy is beautiful. Joy is something that you can't explain. All right, that's how I like to see it. So bask in the love that you share with your spouse, and you know, don't just take them for granted. All right, if you've been doing that in previous years, in 2026, don't do that again. All right. Another thing that I want to mention is don't have a marriage without friendship. Be friends with each other. I can tell just by being around certain people if what their marriage is like. I don't know whether it's part of my gift or whether it's for my knowledge of studying psychology or whether it's just from my experience being around people. I can tell. I can tell when a marriage is, when there's slight in it. And it's not because they are all being all mushy around each other. Personally, I don't even like public display of affection. The most public display of affection you see me do is maybe post something that I really, really mean from the depth of my heart on social media. That's the most public you see me do. But you may not see me, kissing my spouse in public and doing all of that. I like to serve all of that in my private space. But aside that, friendship, the friendship that you have with your spouse is very important. Keep being friends, laugh about things, have your inner joke, do the things that make both of you, happy together, just like you do with your friends. Be friends with your spouse in 2026, okay? Don't let bills and everything choke you, all right? Another thing is don't neglect your intimacy, your space of intimacy is somewhat related to that, or the previous things that I've mentioned. And then also don't outsource your emotional needs. Okay. Sometimes because your spouse isn't giving you quality time, you find out that you're enjoying spending quality time somehow with somebody else. That's how little by little emotional infidelity can come. So don't outsource your emotional needs. If you need to talk to your spouse and they are not giving you the attention, show them this video. Then aside that, tell them what you need, and hopefully with prayers they'll be able to, return love to you in the language that you understand best. And then try to find joy in the things that you do. Very important for you to understand that you may have a particular idea about what you want your spouse to do, and even if it's something they are not used to, yes, it would be nice if they are willing to change and do those things. But understand that so many things influence the way people do the things that they do, backgrounds, among so many other things. So in such a situation, find joy in the things that they already do that you don't need to tell them about. Find joy in the things that your spouse does for you. Okay? So I know that you are married, so two have become one. Regardless, don't neglect your personal growth. When both of you are growing individually, it's also part of the things that fuel you know, the beauty of, getting to see your spouse evolve in different dimensions. Grow personally. Don't stay stagnant. Don't be in a particular state for the rest of your marriage or for the rest of your lives. If for one phase of your life you are doing a certain thing that doesn't allow you to quote unquote grow in another thing, don't worry, find a way to be able to grow in that particular thing. So let me give an example, especially for young mothers, nursing mothers, people who are still training little children. Don't say, oh, this is all I get to do morning till night, I don't have any other thing, I can't do anything because of this child. No, don't feel bad about the blessing that God has given you. Don't do that to yourself. In the process of nurturing those children, you can also grow. You get to learn and experience certain things about parenting, about nurturing. So don't see it as limiting. Rather see it as an opportunity or as an avenue for you to grow. So generally speaking, in whatever phase it is that you find yourself as married people, men and women, husbands and wives, grow. Don't stay stagnant. All right. Maybe the second to the last. Try to ensure that for 2026, you people have a vision, a goal that you're pursuing as a family, as a couple, as parents. All right. Very, very important, very key. And of course, most important, ensure that your family altar does not get dusty. Ensure that you are praying at all times. Ensure that you are watching. Ensure that you are covering your home, and ensure that Jesus Christ remains that third chord in your marriage. All right. And so until next time, there's so many other things that I could have said, but please do with it the necessary things that you need to do with them. Take note of them and put them to practice, and you will be glad in 2026 that you took to these pieces of advice. So until next time, do well to have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time. Take care of yourself. Bye.